I was going to say morning. It's not morning. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the complete playthrough with Ajax, and it's me, Dr. Benji FM. Now, it's a double header for us today. Zoya in the Europa Cup, Europa League, Euro Cup. I should probably get a name fix at some point now the full game has released. And schedule suggests that we also play Utrecht, who are fourth in the Eredivisie. But what you will have noticed immediately is since our 2-0 win, it's been going, well, it's been gone. And it was a 2-1 defeat to William in disappointing circumstances. We got an 86-minute equaliser, but 90th minute, Koulibaly with the goal, and they walk away with the win. And it doesn't put us too far behind in terms of league, actually, because of the fact that teams have got a few games in hand. We still seem relatively close, but a defeat to Utrecht, and, well, that could all change. We could be finding ourselves in fourth position, which for Ajax in Holland is never good enough. So, let's take a look at the squad then that was set to for this first game in the Europa League group stages. If we look at the competitions, you can see we're currently second, and if we win this game, we're all but ceding our qualification to the knockout rounds. So, tactically, let's take a look then. Team-wise, we're going hopefully as strong as possible. Hernander's going to be in goal. We've got Jules at right back. I'm never going to say it correctly, am I? Delet and Veltman in the middle. We've got Dijk at left back. Stinkgraven and Van der Beek in the middle. Ziyech and Schoen with Younes. I think it's Younes. Yeah, I'd go with that. Dolberg up top. This is probably close to our strongest 11. I would like to include Montari as a ball player where Stinkgraven is, but alas, he's never really fit and able to play. If this fails to sort of live up to the expectation of what I'm hoping for from a team like Ajax, then we're going to have to change things up a little bit. Maybe go to a diamond and drop the wingers, which I don't love doing. Alternatively, to up top. So we've got options there. Right, submit said team. And I get into it, so I'm going to have to drink some coffee. Someone suggested recently I should get some honey and have some honey in the mornings to get my throat gone. Basically, for those that aren't aware, I live on American time. I don't live on very early waking American time, but I don't live on UK time. I blame esports for that really, because I watch a lot of American esports. I'm up late watching those, and as a result, and then my sleep patterns are all out of whack, which means ordinarily, and you saw for the first couple of weeks, I was recording Ajax videos the night before. Whereas because I went away and I scheduled loads of things, it then took everything out of position. And when we went away, I was getting up at 9 o'clock, which for most people is pretty normal, right? But I've had a few days where it's sort of meddled in between, so I don't really know where I stand right now. So that's why there's not been a couple of uploads. Not only that, but I had a few things to deal with yesterday. That meant there was no Ajax, so I'm sorry about that. But we're back today, so don't worry. Here we are. We're friends again, I hope. As they're driving forward with it, our Zoya, and the shot comes in, and it sails just wide. The stats are in the weirdest place ever. Let's move those over to the other side. But yeah, we've got to win this game. Otherwise, we're up. Well, we're in a problematic situation, aren't we? Team morale is starting to struggle as well. If we carry on not winning games that we really should be winning, that is going to happen, and we've got to put a stop to it, really. That loss against Feyenoord, to me, is a bigger blow than losing against a side, maybe a lesser side. So I'm a bit concerned about it. And so far in this game, 3 shots, none on target. We've had pretty level possession with Zoya. And yeah, here they are. They've got a free kick. We're playing pretty standard right now. We've got 4 instructions on as the ball's launched clear. But it might mean we have to mix things up a little bit. Schoen's going to get there first, and the counter-attack could well be on here. As Schoen plays it across the other side. Ziyech there. He's got Dolberg running ahead of him and finds him. Dolberg strike goes well over. And I quite like what I saw there. I quite like the speed in which we countered. So I'm going to play on the counter-attack. We are away from home, so it's not a massive shock to do that. I think that's usually quite fine. But you can see possession-wise, 52%. We're not making a hugely conscious effort to keep the ball, I don't think. So this isn't... I mean, ordinarily we're dominating the game with not a lot of chances, and that seems to be the way the game has gone. I think tactically we probably could change 1 or 2 things. Do you know what? I've been tempted to do this all season, and I've not meddled with it yet. But I'd have to change the boys around. I'd quite like to play with a couple of wingers. I think both of them, yeah. We'll have to switch them round, which I don't think is going to hurt too much. But I just want to see if we're more effective with wingers. It's one thing that we're talking about, like playing on a more narrow formation. But this is probably one of the alternatives to that. We do have some natural wingers as well that we could bring in and play in those areas. But yeah, before we go to narrow, we should certainly try and stretch teams a little more by playing wider with wingers and see if we can get them involved. It might also encourage the fullbacks to move forward, and I think that on Football Manager this year is really important. If you can get your fullbacks involved in attacking moves, then things tend to happen, as Delet has a header which flies just over the bar. And yeah, 50 so minutes left. Well, sorry, gone in the game. as the corner comes in this time. It drops to Singraven, who's got a little bit of time. Back heels it to Dolberg, whose strike deflects into the feet of Veltman. I would dare say that's quite unlucky as the fans behind the goal celebrate. The away fans have made the long journey. And, Veltman with the finish. A tad fortunate. I dare say the Dolberg's effort might have been going in. We're going to see it from this corner view. Lovely angle on it, to be fair. I quite like this. Singraven with the back heel. Dolberg's strike might have been going in if it wasn't for the block. And Veltman puts it away. And this is a sort of game, dirty game away in Europe, which is just difficult sometimes. You have to dig in a little bit. You'd always take a 1-0, no matter what team you are, I think. So that's what we're sort of aiming for. But we might have another chance here. Van der Beek, you can see a lot of players forward. Or Van der Beek, sorry, I keep forgetting. I've said it wrong for about 4 years, so it's hard for me to change. They're going forward, and they've got a little bit of time and space on this right-hand side. Ball's put back across, defended well, and hopefully we work this out now and find a way to break forward. Ziyech, now on his more natural left foot, combines with Dolberg, and it could be another chance for us here if we work this nicely. We've got a lot of width here, you can see on that right-hand side. Van der Beek plays in Eunice. He's got the overlap as well. This is what I'm talking about, really. If he can find it, but it still isolates maybe a fullback occasionally and gives us more space on the opposite side. Speaking of fullbacks, Dykes puts the ball in. Eunice is there on his right foot and finishes it. And maybe wingers then. Well, I mean, we've made a change and it seems to have worked. And wingers have certainly been involved, and we've seen fullbacks pushing on as well, which I guess against better sides will leave you exposed. But ordinarily, Ajax should be beating most sides, and this is maybe the way to do it. Great finish from Eunice, great delivery to the back post as well, and 2-0 to us. Now, there's a question mark over whether we should make some changes, but with things going so well, I don't really want to. I know people get annoyed about this and think that you should always make changes, keep players fresh, but no one's suffering massively from fitness. I think we might make a change maybe in the middle, or do you know what? No, I'm not going to. I know people hate it. Do you know what? I'm going to make one now. I'm seeing it. And I'm thinking, actually, we'll bring on. Where's he gone? Oh yeah, De Jong in the centre for Van der Beek. That's what we're going to do. There's been another goal as well. Veltman's with a finish. I guess we'll look at the replay. As I was doing that, I didn't pause it because I thought we'll just make a quick change in the middle to freshen it up a little bit. But Veltman with another goal. Van der Beek with the corner. Chipped in. Veltman just calmly slots it on the volley. And 3-0, looking good. We will continue to make the changes. And the second half's been very dominant, you must say. Veltman with 2 goals from the centre-back position. Not something you see every day, but we'll certainly take. And that, my friends, should be that. And with that, I think I'll treat myself with a cup of cappuccino. So, lovely. Right then, second game on the horizon. And Utrecht have had a decent year so far. I never think of them as, like, when you talk about the best teams in Holland, you never really mention them, they never really come into the equation. We do qualify for the first knockout round, worth noting. And Group L, completion. Lovely old job. If you take a look at the group, you can see Braga on 10 points, we're on 9. With 2 games to go, the goal difference is such that, there's no real chance of them getting back. And if it goes to head-to-head, we've dominated them in that game, and all things should be lovely and fine. Top goal scorers for Ajax in that competition is Huntelaar, which is interesting. He must have been part of the qualifiers, while Dolberg wasn't playing. I can't remember, but I assume that's what happened. Right, FC Utrecht coming up now for our second episode of the game. And let's see then, is it going to go well? What we should have done, Ben, is get some questions for the Q&A during these sort of sections that we've been doing in these episodes, because they've been a bit more podcasty, haven't they? I can still load it up while we continue through, and hopefully we'll find a question. I'm going to read literally whatever question pops up at the top of the list. As there's the lovely intro to the Ajax save. This isn't good video, by the way. For anyone watching this thinking, this is how you make it. No, wrong. Someone asked the question is, you keep talking about the lack of defensive midfielder, but how about trying what Ajax actually do and putting Schoen there, said TB Freddy. Good point, actually. Can he play in a defensive position? Because we've been playing him in this advanced position. Again, his tackling's not great. I don't think he suits a ball winning. Yeah, ball winning is his least favourable trait. At 31, he's certainly got the mentals to play a defensive position. His aggression isn't great, but again, he's got the mentals to play there. He's got a really good work rate. It'd be more deep line playmaker in the centre, though, wouldn't he? That is what he prefers. I realised someone left a comment. Matt just said Coffee Simulator 2017, which I guess I'm now just going to live up to and have some more. This is your fault, Matt. If anyone wants anyone to blame, then look at Matt. It's not Matt's fault at all. It's literally my fault. Right, let's carry on. You literally just sat there watching someone drink coffee. No one's come for this. we've got a few other questions. I'm going to read some of the comments as we go through. This is quite a fun thing to do. Here's a question for you, Ben. Who do you think is the best English manager at this current time? At this current time, I think you couldn't look past Sean Dyche as the best English manager with what he's doing with Burnley. I think that's probably more detail you could go into there, but you look at Burnley's position, you look at how well they're doing. A lot of people talk about Eddie Howe, but no, I think you've got to give it to Dyche for what he's achieving at Burnley with a squad that is, in my opinion, a bottom 5 squad, and they're in the top 8 right now. So give them credit, in my opinion. We'll see if we've got any other questions. Which Ajax players would you most like Liverpool to sign? That's quite a good question. I think you're certainly looking at Dolberg as like the number one hot prospect around Europe. I think Liverpool probably lack a striker like him as well. We've got lots of sort of options with Sturridge and Solanke and whatnot. But yeah, I think Dolberg makes the most sense. The problem is, how do you fit him in amongst everyone else? Fabinho's a really good player, as is Coutinho. You got Mane and Salah and whatnot. So how do you fit him in? But yeah, Dolberg, I think, is the hottest prospect at Ajax. He looks really, really good. So him, I would say. Right, team-wise, I didn't rest the boys, I've just realised, which probably is a mistake, as we're playing a really tough league game now. I'm going to trust in Volba to play instead of Delette. We're going to put Veltman on that right side. Fitness-wise, we're not too bad. I mean, Utrecht probably didn't have a game midweek, so they're going to be pretty happy about it. And the question is, do I bring Montari in and play him? Oh, this is tricky now. Do we play Montari alongside Van der Beek? Do you know what? We're going to switch to our winger system that we did last game. I just realised they didn't change. That seems a little... I mean, this is now the full release, right? That seems still a tad buggy. But there we are. Fixed and sorted. Right, let's go to this one then. We are retaining possession, but we do it in such a way that we're trying to get the ball out to the flanks as much as possible. Hence, I don't think our possession is suited to it. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you want loads of possession, you play it out from defence, you keep the passing shorter, things like this. Whereas we're not doing that. We're trying to keep the ball where we've got it, but we're not trying to keep it to the point where we have 60-70% possession. And I don't think we've seen that throughout this season, really. We're just trying to make sure we can control a game without being on control, and I think retaining possession does that relatively well. You might disagree, and if you do disagree, I'm sure you'll let me know and call me stupid, because that seems to be a theme these days, which I'm having to get used to. It used to be, you're an idiot, but we love you for it. Now it's, you're an idiot and it's annoying me. So times have changed. Someone asked discussion topic, what do you think about Brexit? I think we'll leave that topic for another day, as in not today. Any other questions while we sort of play this game? Just Google tea granules, never knew they existed. Twinings, English brekkie, or everyday loose tea in the cafeteria. Can't beat it, in my opinion. Well, this is I've recently bought a coffee machine, as mentioned, so this is the life I'm leading currently. And if you've got any more questions, then I'll be sure to plan better and answer them. I keep asking for them, and in fairness, there's some there, so you listened, which I appreciate. Right, Utrecht, as I say, are one of the best sides in the division so far this season. Have started really well. Whether that's a good run for them or sort of a break in the matrix, they really shouldn't be doing this well, but are performing above expectations. We're about to find out. I feel like if we beat them, then they're pretenders. If they beat us, they're potentially contenders. As the ball's played straight through the middle. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That is ridiculous. You can't account for that. We're going to go to the counter-attack. We did it in the last game. And although we're 1-0 down at home, I just think when we get the opportunity to exploit space, then we're far better. I think that's something that, in Football Manager especially, has been quite a good thing. That's really disappointing. I think we can all agree. That's a shame that's got in there. No one wanted to see it, especially me. And we go 1-0 down. So we're going to have to fight back from the clutches of defeat. As Ziyech puts the ball in, Veltman's there. Obviously hot in goal-scoring form right now. Or in hot goal-scoring form. There's a little ball through to Dolberg there, which we didn't quite find. There it is. Eventually goes to him. The angle's difficult. He can pull it back if he needs to, but he's tackled, and the ball is cleared. But we come again, and we have another chance here. Sinkgraven's on it. Van der Beek, and this is us sort of controlling the game. It's quite neat and tidy, actually. When you look at it, as the ball's played through, This is there. Shot on goal. Hits the post. Of course it does. And cleared again. But it's a half chance for us, and we've hit the woodwork. But the highlight is eventually over. We should have rested the players, and I was too busy looking at questions on Twitter, and that is part of the problem on YouTube. That is part of the problem with my style of playing the game, is that because I'm not a serious player of the game, that will then lead to bad decisions occasionally. But I would prefer, someone asked me a question on stream, I think it was the other day, would I rather be known for being the best football manager YouTuber, as in the most competent football manager YouTuber, or the most entertaining. And I think if you've been watching for a while, you know that my first and foremost thing is to make the video entertaining, to take people's mind off things. It's easier to do that, in my opinion at least. I mean, not everyone will agree, but by being entertaining. So I'm trying to like make the videos a bit funny or whatever. So that's my first and foremost. These videos are slightly different though, so really there should be no excuse other than me looking at the YouTube video. But we're 1-0 down, and last game we changed it around to wingers and it worked. Now I'm debating changing it back and seeing if it works, which would be quite funny to see it happen in that fashion. And I'm also going to bring on David Neres for Ajax, who I think is unfortunate to be dropped. If you look at his season so far, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7.82. We only dropped him because of an injury. So we'll bring him back into the team. He's got a chance to show people here that he should never have been replaced in the first place. And Sinkgraven isn't very happy. And with that in mind, actually, Montari is going to come in as the ball winner, because I think we do operate slightly better when he's there in the side. And because he's only got a half to play, in theory, it should be more difficult for him to be sent off. So we'll see if that's the case. I'm not confident, but a double change at half-time, 1-0 down, I feel like we have to make the moves, and we're also going to go attacking as well with our inside forwards, because I just think we need to put a little bit more pressure on. I was hoping that we'd see a lot more out of Utrecht, but actually we haven't seen them have too many chances, which means as a result they've not left as much space in behind as I was hoping. With 20 minutes to go, they've got a free kick. I was going to make a change there. Free kick's fired over. I'm thinking Benedetto on, Dolberg out to the left, which, because we've seen him play well out there before, and I want to have more attackers or more sort of striking elements on the pitch. So that's going to be our final change. 20 minutes to go. Can it do the business? Shown heads down. Ball played in. Jordan on the ground. It's a penalty kick. Benedetto's come on. Jansen's fouled him, and he's picked himself up to take the penalty as well. An instant impact. I don't think he's yet to touch the ball, maybe. But he's got himself a penalty kick. His first touch of the game. We'll assume anyway, because we didn't see anything else. But Benedetto's first touch in the game could be to put it into the back of the net. Benedetto steps up for Ajax and scores the penalty, and we're back on level terms in a game that we cannot afford to lose. And with 15 or so minutes to go, you suspect now that we are favourites for the game. He celebrated in front of their fans as well, which was a little bit naughty in my opinion, but there's a great penalty from him into the top corner. And right, can we now find ourselves a winner? Time's going to tick by quicker than we can handle, and some of our midfield and defence are getting a little tired, but by the same token, these late game periods are where the best players tend to step up, and we've got some decent subs that have come on that can apply some pressure. Schoen's ball in isn't the best. Montari with a little back-heely flick thing. It goes all the way out, but it's going to give us a chance, hopefully, to put the ball back in. Just don't lose it here. I think that's all that can be said for this, as we work it around the back line quite neatly, and a big ball played up towards Stolberg, who now allows Benedetto to close down the goalkeeper, whose clearance didn't look the best, and it's not. And we're back in, showing plays through David Neres, the second substitute, and he fires over. Massive opportunity for us to take the lead in the game, and it doesn't quite happen. And now it's an Utrecht. If I'm saying that wrong, by the way, I'm really sorry. That's always the way I've said it. But with my history of mispronunciations, then I'm worried that it's not how you say it at all, as they start to come forward with it and maybe cause us a problem. We're on attacking, of course, so we will be slightly more open in wide areas, but we win it back. And Neres with the ball. He turns on it really well. Benedetto, the hero of the hour. Oh, no way. 5 minutes to go. 2 massive chances. We've had a host of clear cuts, it feels like. And timing looks like it's ticking away. Maybe I could have paused it in something more there. But yeah, 4 clear cut chances and 4 half chances. And the game looks as if it's going to end 1-1. There's not necessarily much more we could have done. Yeah, there's not all the shots on target, but you see Benedetto and Neres have gone close at the end there and could have done more. That is quite the disappointment, isn't it? Dressing room chat then. I'm gonna get angry with them aggressively. You weren't good enough today. The finishing has to be better in those situations. 4 on target at the 16, and we saw from a couple of those chances, as mentioned, that they could have very much been goals, and they were giving us clear-cut opportunities, which is not what we want to see. Even I'm going to rest the team before we forget. But that is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. It was a little bit longer, I would assume. Where is it? Let me have a look. Here it is. Yeah, it was about 20 minutes. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. This will be back tomorrow, Sunday, and every day beyond that. I'll make sure I catch up with the schedule. I just need to be awake more. We've loved with care. Until next time, goodbye. Part of the reason also is streaming twitch.tv/Dr. Benji. If you're ever interested, there's stuff there to watch as well. Goodbye.